In this exercise, we're going to learn how to create railing in our project. This particular project doesn't really have the need for a straight run of railing. But what it does have is it already has some railing showing up here on our staircase. We're going to create an example of just a straight line of railing, and we're going to do that on the outside of the building so that you can see the process of how to do it. We'll also modify this existing railing so that it comes over and then comes back across so that nobody comes around and just falls into this hole here that's been created by the staircase and the opening. So to begin with, let's start by drawing a piece of railing just outside of our building. Ultimately, we will get rid of it, but this will give us a good feel for the process of drawing a railing. Underneath the Architecture tab, we're going to select on Railing. You'll see under Properties that this is a handrail rectangular. And when we start to draw where we want the handrail to go, whatever the length of that line is that we get ready to draw, this handrail will be that exact length, and it'll be whatever that shape is as well. In this instance, let's draw a handrail out here on the outside of the building. Make sure with your drawing tools that it's a straight line. You can also draw a rail that happens to be curved, that's circular, that can be pretty much any shape that you want it to be. But for this example, we're just going to do a straight line. Click once somewhere out here. Now this is up on the second level, so this is going to look like it's floating in space here in a moment, but that's okay. Click over here, click the endpoint, and then click again. What we've done is we've drawn two lines, and the railing is going to follow the line from this point to the corner, and then wrap the corner and come back down. Click the big green check mark, and then move up to your 3D icon so we can take a look at it in 3D. You'll see there's the railing that we just drew from the endpoint around, wraps around the corner, and comes back. That's the basics behind drawing a railing. It's just a matter of selecting the railing command, picking the type of railing that you want off of the list, then drawing the path that you want the railing to follow. Now, if you want to make modifications to an existing railing, this is how you do it. We're going to select on this railing and we're just going to delete it for right now. And we're going to work on a railing that already exists in our project. And this is a railing that was created when our staircases were created. So to get to there, we need to come back to our level 1 floor plan view. So just double click on level 1. You'll begin to see that the railing in this instance is actually showing up as being a dashed line, at least through the majority of this. And now technically we can edit the railing from here, but I'd really like to edit it up on our level 2. So just double click here on level 2, and we can see that same railing, if we zoom in here on the top, coming around on level 2. Right here is where our opening is. This is the top of our staircase, and you'd walk down the stairs in this direction. What I want to do is add another piece of railing that comes up to here and comes back across. To add the railing, instead of just drawing it in like we did in the previous example, select on the already existing railing. This railing was automatically created when the staircase was created. And then pick on Edit Path. This is the same process as if we wanted to modify the path that the railing that we had just done in the previous steps. We could have selected on that railing, clicked on Edit Path, and then redrawn any of those lines that made up the path, and then the railing would have followed that path instead. This next part is key. Something you may have learned from Revit already is the ability to select on a line and then drag the line out by clicking on the grips. The problem is if you do that with a railing that's sloping down, like this one is, going down a staircase, it'll continue its slope on up if you drag it out in this direction. We don't want it to continue the slope. So to do that, we need to draw in another piece of line from here and draw this 4 inches down, click the endpoint of that line, and come straight over. And hit escape a couple of times to get out of that part of the command. What this has done is instead of continuing this slope that's going down the staircase, it's now going to be flat or flush in this direction and then come straight on across. If we click the big green check mark at this point, just click somewhere out in here, we can start to see that that's what's happening. We can see the shade along here as opposed to what it looks like as it's sloping down. And we can also view this by placing a camera inside of here. By coming up to View, then clicking on 3D View, and then picking on Camera. Click where we want to stand with the camera, and then use this cone and click somewhere in here, making sure that the staircase is completely inside of this cone of lines. We can see that this railing effect did go flat right at the end, and then it's moved across. And if you click on this little control dot, and then drag down, we can see that entire railing that we just put in. So the magic behind doing railings is either executing the railing command or selecting on the piece of railing, then drawing in the path that you'd like that railing to follow, and the path will automatically follow that all the way on around no matter where you draw it to.